All right, welcome back to Thrive America. I'm your host, Brent Brooks, joined by David Alexander, CNO, Chief Networking Officer of BNI. And David, I understand you kind of father a lot of BNI chapters here in the Southeast, is that right? Mm-hmm. Okay. We were talking a little bit offline with you about some other organizations that you might want to get involved in. Can you share a little bit about what we were talking about?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's kind of interesting. I get asked this question a lot. Well, how do I get involved? What do I get involved in? What do I do to really start getting referrals for my business? There's a lot of great organizations out there. BNI is obviously one of them, but there's others as well. The founder of BNI has a presentation he does, which I love. It's called Networking for Cave Dwellers. And the premise is we get up in this cave that looks a lot like our bedroom. Then we go into another cave that has 4 wheels on it. Then we go into this big cave that has a bunch of computers in it. We get back into the cave with 4 wheels and go home to a big cave that has a big screen TV, and then we go to bed. That's kind of our life sometimes. Well, networking is a contact sport. You got to get out there and get involved in the community. And so in addition to getting involved in BNI, check out your Chamber of Commerce. And don't just join, by the way. If you join, get involved. Same thing in BNI, by the way. If you join, get involved. Get on a leadership team. Become an ambassador in the Chamber. Get on a committee in the Chamber. There's other great organizations. Civic groups are great organizations to get involved in. Lions, Rotary, Kiwanis, those sorts of things. Those are not business organizations, by the way. They're civic organizations. However, you start to get known as a giver and you're somebody who's responsible in the community, well, people are going to refer to you, right? And you'll get great referrals. So there's lots of good stuff you can get involved in. The key is just get out of your cave, join some groups, start meeting with some people, and you're going to get referrals for your business.
Yeah. Okay, David, we're going to kind of transition here into a different arena, which is what are the common myths of referral marketing? So walk us through what are some of the myths that come to mind. Like if I hear about referral marketing, I have some that come to my mind, but I'd like for you to kind of walk us through some of these.
I'd be happy to. A lot of these actually come from a book written by a couple friends of mine called Truth or Delusion, Busting Networking's Myths. I think they have about 50 or so myths inside of this book. We'll talk about a couple of those, and we'll talk about a couple that if we have time, we'll talk about a couple that aren't in there. One of the myths that I think is real funny or real interesting, and I hear this all the time when I go to meetings. It drives me nuts. BNI members, if you're looking at this drives me nuts, just so you know. You'll go around and people will be introducing themselves or doing a 60-second presentation about their business. They'll stand up and they'll say, "Hi, I'm David Alexander. I own the local air conditioning shop down the street, and we provide the best customer service in town. Just come to us. We'll treat you right. Our service is fantastic." What was unique about that? You know, because guess what? Their competitor is saying, "Hey, I'm David Alexander. I own, air conditioning shop B across the street. We provide the best service in town." So I think that there's a perception out there that if I provide great customer service, people refer to me. Well, that's a delusion. That's not true. Because really everybody should provide great customer service, right? I mean that's kind of the standard. Is great customer service. What makes you referable are the unique things about your business. Don't talk about great customer service. Talk about what you actually do to go the extra mile. What are the systems? What are the tools? What are the processes that you do that make yourself great? What types of work do you do that's different from your competitors that you can share with your network? The key is making yourself unique and memorable. And saying I provide great customer service isn't it.
I like the next one here. It says, cultivate movers and shakers in the community for maximum impact.
Oh, yeah.
What is...
That's also a myth. That would be a delusion. It's interesting. I think that oftentimes we open our businesses, we do all the work that's required, we sign our leases, we get our inventory, we do everything we need to do, we throw open the open sign, and nobody shows up. And then we start to think, well, gosh, maybe I haven't really gotten connected with the right people, the influential people in town that can pass my message along. Now, getting connected to the influential people that can pass your message along is great if you can do it. But it's not a key success factor. It's not something that's key to a referral marketing plan. What's key to a referral marketing plan is simply inspiring others to refer you. It doesn't matter what they do. You don't have to get the mayor to endorse your product. You have to get people locally within your community to endorse your product. For example, a great story, I've heard lots of great stories here, but PTA is a great example. You get somebody who's deeply involved in a PTA program at school to endorse your product, which involves making children successful somehow, whatever the product is at school. Well, all of a sudden, that's not a community figure necessarily, but it's somebody who's connected to a target market that you need. So that's where you really start refining it down. Is think about your community, think about people you know whose client list you're enviable of. If they have a client list that you want, it doesn't matter who they are. You can start connecting with them, meeting with them, ask to be introduced to them. At these organizations we suggested joining, stand up and say, "Hey, I need to meet so and so." Do a one-to-one with them, have lunch with them, have coffee with them, learn more about their business, they learn more about yours, and then you become connected to their client base.
Definitely. Let's do a few more here. I say to you, David, people who like and care about me will only refer me business.
Raise your hands if you've gotten a referral from your mother. I'll wait.
I never have.
Right? I mean,
that's true. I never have.
Now, the thing is, your mom likes, knows, and trusts you, or your dad, or your sister, or your brother. I mean, they like, know, and trust you, hopefully, but they don't refer us business.
Right.
How many referrals do you get from your best friends?
I haven't gotten one yet.
Yeah, see, that's the interesting thing. We have this feeling that people who like, know, and trust us refer us business. Well, unless we take the time to teach them how to refer us business, they're not going to. Now, it just so happens I do get a lot of referrals from my mom because I've taken a tremendous amount of time to teach her what I do. So she gives me a lot of referrals. There's other family members that I don't get any referrals from, and it's not their fault, it's my fault because I've not taken the time to teach them what I do. When you strategic market with people, when you sit down with people and you share, well, this is what I do and this is what I do, and you kind of start talking about, well, how could I get connections into your client base? How could you get connections into my client base? We do that with other people, but we tend not to do that to the people that are closest with us.
Yeah.
Well, the people that are closest with us already have all the passion and desire to help us. We just haven't given them the technical aspects of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you'd be amazed how many people mom knows.
Yeah. Well, there's a number of other ones on here, David, but we're going to have to kind of come to a conclusion here. And I feel like we're just scratching the surface. There's so much content here that I'd love to talk to you about, but we're going to have a blog for you. But let's make this real easy for viewers who might want to get both in touch with BNI and maybe possibly get in touch with you.
Sure.
What's a good workflow for you? How can people get in touch? I think we mentioned the BNI website, but what's an easy way for people to get introduced, to come to BNI and then maybe get introduced to you, or is that something like that?
Yeah, it's great. To get involved in BNI, just go to BNI.com. If you're local in some of the regions that we own and operate, you can filter down to the BNI.com site and get to us. To get in touch with me, the best thing, I'm not a big email fan. The best way to get in touch with me is pick up the phone and call. Should I just throw the phone number out there? 678-888-0200. So if you want to get in touch with me, I do a tremendous amount of keynote speaking and corporate training. If there's some interest there, then please give me a call. I'll be happy to at least have the conversation with you.
Great. David, thank you so much for being a guest on Thrive America. And I'm going to be sure to include the links to all of your books that you have coming out, that are already out and that are coming out, and a powerful list of other speakers in this book here. So check out BNI.com. I'm a big believer in that. Of course, we have other experts who have come and talk about net weaving, which is Bob Littell.
Bob Littell, absolutely.
And we've had some social media. Later today we have a social media expert coming and talking about how to use Facebook. And there's just so many great ways that we can use to put ourselves out there. And but I think at the very core is referral marketing. So see you next time on Thrive America.